Hi, everyone, and welcome to the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I'm a bereavement specialist. Hello, Susan. Good to see you again.
Hi, Lisa. So good to see you today. And welcome, everybody. And today's subject is really important. You know, as human beings, we like to help other people. And that's what we'll be talking about today. When a friend or a loved one passes, we all want to help, right? In some way, shape, or form, but we don't often know what to do. So in today's show, we'd like to give you a few suggestions that may spark some ideas inside of you. And we want you to know that there are two ways to help, and there are ways to honor the person who's passed by donating and doing through certain causes and certain events and community walks and different things like that. And then there's also a way to help raise money to help the deceased person's family who may need it most. One of the things we'll talk about is fundraising, or what I'm seeing in some of my research now that I did this week is crowdfunding, they're calling it,
Mm.
which is a new word for me, but I understand the meaning behind it. And there's many things we can do for a family depending on their situation and their needs. So one of the big ways people are helping is they want to help cover funeral costs. So the expenses of funerals and even cremations are huge. So this is a big way that people like to support and help. Many families struggle financially, especially if they lose the main provider in their family, which I know firsthand. That's something that happened with me, and especially if there are young children.
Mm.
There are tribute scholarships to honor a person and dedications to remember loved ones. And as we spoke about, Lisa, before we started recording, things like planting trees and a bench to tribute for the deceased. So we're going to be talking about a few different areas on how you can fundraise and raise money for the deceased to honor them or for the family. So there's two different ways you can do that. But Lisa would like to start today with a little story about her weekend that she spent in a personal experience when it comes to honoring a loved one in her family. So let's hear a little bit more about that, Lisa.
Sure. Traditionally, October seems to be walk month between all the different cancers or American Heart Association and all. I've been participating in the Lustgarten Foundation since my husband died 13 years ago. And Lustgarten is a not-for-profit, totally financed by a corporation. So none of the monies go to staffing. They all go to research. 100% of the money's fundraised. So that feels really good for most people. And so Lustgarten here on Long Island is the world's largest not-for-profit organization. And they, of course, have their annual walk, like many of the organizations have. And of course, the purpose of the walk is the raising money. But beyond that, it brings people together to honor and remember that individual. So, of course, the two books that I did were in memory of my husband, and they raised money uh, for the Lustgarten Foundation. But what I found when I was there yesterday at this walk was the sense of camaraderie and the sense of team, trying to come together, friends, family. I even spoke to somebody who was honoring the person who was in her school and who had this job before she did. And she felt it was really important to get the students involved with it so that they would remember him as well. And that sense of the t-shirts and making things, and of course raising the money for the walk, and then doing it together, there's nothing like being together for somebody. And obviously all the people I spoke to and all the remembrances, that sense of community, that sense of purpose, and that's what you can bring for yourself. And you can I can just describe it as comforting. It was comforting for me, number one, to be there for others. Number two, to obviously be fundraising and selling my book. And number three, to be sharing those experiences with people who knew and who understood what we've all been through. And so I recommend, that kind of, especially when it becomes a disease. Many people feel that, there's nothing they can do about this, and that there's a sense of empowerment. There's a sense of coming together, working together, and again, remembering that person. So just very positive experience doing that. So I wanted to share that with everybody.
That's wonderful. It's beautiful. And it's a way of coming together and, all feeling that we're on the same page and we're recognizing, we're honoring. And there's a feeling there, and I can relate to it. Recently, I was asked to speak at two events for Pine Lawn Cemetery here on Long Island. And they're a huge cemetery and they do a lot for their communities. And I'm so proud and honored actually to be able to take part in a couple of these experiences. Now, I wanted to just bring these to light today because these are twofold. These two experiences can be twofold. So the first way is honoring our loved one by just coming together like you're talking about. And one was in a lantern release. One is a candle vigil ceremony. And in both ways, you're coming together as families from all walks of life, no matter how old, age, time, you're all coming together to really honor and celebrate your lost loved one as a community, right? So this is like the walks where the communities get together and do something like this. But I started thinking on the other hand, because we're talking about two things today, raising money for the family as well. And these two ceremonies can also become a part of your family community and your family unit. So even having a lantern ceremony or a candlelight vigil where you have a couple speakers get up and talk and putting some soft music on and bringing beauty to the ceremony and maybe charging everybody $5 that's invited, $5 or $10 with the sole purpose of taking those monies and donating them to the family who may need it more than anything. So when I say twofold, you see where I'm coming from. That's a larger scale where the communities all come together and they don't know one another. Or you can do it on a smaller community scale where people do know this person in their community and you want to fundraise for the family in that way as well,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and I want to talk about the tribute part too. When you walk around a lake, like Argyle Lake, and you see the benches, and see the benches with a memorial plaque on it. And that got me thinking about, the person. Maybe they really enjoyed that lake. Maybe they grew up around there, something of remembrance. And that isn't a fundraising per se, that's a tribute. And that's
Right.
to actually think about as well, because again, it brings that person, it keeps that person in the hearts and minds of people.
Sure.
Yeah, just beautiful. Bricks
Yeah.
is another thing. I see bricks, when people build different things, art center,
Yeah.
beautiful.
And it's the same thing as like the bricks in Disney, right? I've seen them in years past where you donate a certain amount of money and you can have your family's name imprinted on a brick. It's the same type of thing. Um, but I guess, on a larger scale. And again, to honor the deceased or to help raise money for the family. So there's things that you could do for both. We talked about walks. But there are many community fundraisers too that I see people do. Maybe it could be a memorial dinner on a more lavish scale, with salad, a main course, appetizers in a nice venue where they have weddings, and you would I don't know how you'd price out those tickets, but I'm sure any venue would help you with that. And you add additional monies to the cost of the meal and the tickets, and that would be part of the donation. And you could do things during that night as well with raffle baskets, have people donate raffle baskets or gift cards, and all that money can be raised for the family as well.
Yeah, I
You
saw,
can do something on a smaller scale with food potluck dinners.
that's what I just read, the memorial potluck. And what a great idea to bring that person's foods, the things that they loved and enjoyed, and bring
Yeah.
foods to the potluck. Isn't that wonderful?
Especially a themed, like if they're Polish or, Italian, to have a theme night dinner according to what they loved. I think
Yes,
that's a beautiful thing.
yes, yes. Another one is a t-shirt sale. I never even saw that. And I realized what a great idea. You create a t-shirt design that commemorates a loved one and sell it for donations. It could be
That's right.
quote or maybe a lyric or something, maybe their hometown, maybe a family crest, something that symbolizes that person. What a great idea. I never even thought of that, but that's wonderful. And they do buy
T-shirts, hats,
our website. They do mention obviously the Memorial website idea as well.
all kinds of things like that, even recipe books.
Yeah,
Right? To gather either the person who's passed, maybe all of their recipes, put them together in a recipe book dedicated to her. And that could be a fundraiser to sell those recipe books, right? Or maybe everybody can just contribute with their own favorite recipe.
that's a nice
And that could be a fundraiser for the family as well.
It's a nice idea. And beyond these walks, there is a walkathon that you can organize yourself. Maybe through places that they enjoyed or that were special to them or that they, would be remembered for. You can do
Mhm.
that as well. And that again, you're raising money for the family. Just so nice. Just, really
You know
cool.
what else I saw? I saw, Lisa, and this one I liked a lot, a memories night. You can actually, it's easy to go on Eventbrite. You do it all the time when you sell tickets to your workshops and all. But if you can set up a page in Eventbrite and everybody could buy a ticket, that could be the fundraiser, right? The cost of the tickets that can go to the family. But it's a ticket to attend an event, and it could be on Zoom, it could be in person if you have enough people. But a lot of people do these on Zoom now, and it could be a memory. They call it a memory night because we're all going to share stories, right? We're going to share some stories and great memories and things that made us laugh. Maybe everybody can bring to the table one special memory that you'll never forget, that made you, laugh with this person a lot. You could do a lot of different things with something like that, with an event like that, if you just think outside the box a little bit and
Yeah,
get creative behind it. But
love
I
that.
thought that I saw that and I thought that was a good idea.
That's lovely.
You
I
know,
also,
what about bake sales?
yeah, and
Bake sales.
I saw a flower sale. You being the flower person, a flower sale.
Huh.
Flowers that were maybe their favorite flour, and you sell those. I mean, it's relatively inexpensive, but the more profit goes towards the cause. Candle sale,
Hmm.
right? Candles are always lovely.
Yeah.
Really interesting things when you start getting creative.
Another thing, there was a website that I found, and the woman talks about, it's called blog.fundly, Fundly, / fundraising ideas for memorials and funerals. And I thought that that was kind of neat because they talk about many ways that they make it simple for you to start a donation page, right? Just start your page. You're going to share it with friends and families. You create a title for this event, your goal, and what the campaign is meant to accomplish, right? What you want to accomplish if you do have a dollar amount goal, but you can raise money with that and with that link for so many different things. The cost of the funeral to cover, um, what's nice about that, what I like about that, Lisa, is that it's great for if you have family and friends that are from out of state, because it's very easy for people to contribute and to come and look at this page and share their comments and select a certain amount to donate. So these things are really nice. On a personal note, and I really don't like talking about this, but when my husband was in the hospital for 55 days, the medical expenses, as you can imagine, were, exuberant. And my niece had started a GoFundMe page for her uncle. This was her godfather, my husband. And it was a wonderful thing. and it just circulated. And that's why I believe in GoFundMe, because of the personal experience that I had. And what it ended up doing, her intention was for medical purposes. It ended up helping me with the cost of the funeral. At the time we didn't know he'd passed. So her intention was medical expenses. And once he passed, we realized, hey, I needed help to cover his funeral costs. And that's what covered it, and that was a really, really wonderful thing. But they call it something else now, and you can see on that Fundly, Fundly.com, or GoFundMe if there's a specific purpose in mind. People raise a lot of money on
They
GoFundMe,
they
right?
do, they do, they do. And I've been on one cause, and it explains some of these ideas. There's an idea called movie night, which is pretty cool. Gather together for a particular movie that maybe they really loved, or maybe, they always talked about, and you can charge for entry, you can charge for snacks, drinks, maybe a copy of the movie. I mean, you get creative, right? Um,
Yeah,
and all you need is a projector and a screen. And you
there you
could
go. It's nice, better if you can even have it outside,
they
you
have those
know.
big, did you ever see those big blow up screens? That is so
Yes,
cool. I would love to do that someday. You know me, I like
I know.
to.
I know, I know. And
Yeah.
there were a couple other projects that I saw that I really loved. One was the Wounded Warrior Project. If if the person really had a love and a cause for veterans, the Wounded Warrior Project is online. You can pull it up and read lots of information about it, but they enable you to create an online memorial page, uh, similar, maybe not as extravagant as the one we talked about in our previous video, for friends and family to make donations, um, for the person and their family. And also I noticed too, St. Jude's, who I contribute to them a little bit each month. They also help you create a personal fundraiser
Mm.
if you'd like to do something like that. If St. Jude's, you know, was important to the person in your life who's passed. And they walk you through the whole thing, and they're easy steps. 1, 2, 3, they help you set that up, and you can take off from there.
That's
So
nice.
there are a lot of different ways. It's really about researching,
Yeah,
things that the person loved and what they love to do and what they cared for, or maybe they even contributed to a certain cause, and you could reach out to them and connect on some type of level with fundraising.
yeah. I'll add another one, a photo book sale. Something I really hadn't even thought of, and I'm a photo person. You have everybody contribute photos of that person and their experiences and all, and then you could put together something that you can sell. You can put together a whole book that you can sell about that person.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Interesting, huh? I never even thought of something like that. To have everybody contribute the pictures and the memories. That's just really,
You
really
know,
nice.
and actually you charge them a fee, to raise your money. But I'll even take it a step further because there's so many digital sites now. I know you use Shutterfly, I think,
You do.
right? Even as far as CVS and Walgreens, right? And they put together these photo books for you. So you find a sale, something that's not that expensive, and you come up with the photo book, but then make sure that and that fee, covers that and then some, because that's how you'll raise your money in that cause.
Right.
But I bet if you even go on to Shutterfly or some of these digital photo shops, they may even have some fundraising ideas,
Hmm. I
you know,
worth a
that you
try.
can work on.
Worth a try. I have
Yeah.
another one. Look at this benefit concert. I never even thought of a concert that you could put together or that you could go.
Oh, sure.
We know Norm Wasserman, and he does a lot of benefit fundraisers, concerts.
Well,
And I've gone to.
that's what I was about to say. So if you are on Long Island, and I'm not sure how much out of Long Island he services, but I know in New York, he does this, and it's specifically for fundraising. to give you an idea, I know a nonprofit who wanted to have a fundraiser and raise some money. So all of the tickets, it was a John Denver, say a John Denver person who looks like him and sings like him. And I actually attended the event and it was phenomenal. If I closed my eyes, I wouldn't have known the difference, right?
Yes.
But every ticket that was sold, uh, he would give back $7 or $8 to the person who was fundraising or to the nonprofit. And that's a really good way for you to raise money and get all your ticket sales out there. His name is Norm, and his company is Friends Entertainment.
Yep.
So you can always reach out to us and we'll give you more information on that. Or you can contact him directly and tell him that you heard through Lisa and Susan's YouTube channel.
Yes.
But he'll take good care of you with that. That's a great
He's
way.
been
I'm
doing that-
glad you remembered to bring that up.
he's been doing that for years. Yeah, and the concerts are amazing.
Right, right.
Yeah. Then there's a dog walk. I hadn't even thought of that. Maybe they love the dog, and you could actually do a dog walk with everybody, and take the dogs around the neighborhood and partner with a shelter or something, and promote the event. Set up your course. Gather donations. Maybe again, you look towards what that person loved, and try to always bring out their personal loves and interests and all that.
What about it? Let's talk about food again. Food is such an integral part of our lives. So what about an event where a cooking contest? You know how people have these chili bake-off things, and whoever makes the best chili and everybody has a little taste and then they vote. And that could be a fun event, whether it be chili or baking or really anything. And then the entry fee that you would charge for that, would be
Yeah.
the money that you're fundraising. And you can even do that in your backyard. It doesn't have to be one of these big events that you see on TV, or maybe you can hold it in a local park area. I don't know, it's starting to get cold out now, but really these ideas are to plant seeds.
Yes.
Right? So you could do it in your backyard, and this is a great time of year for chili, as a matter of fact, and have the contest and have sodas over there and waters over there, and there's an entry fee to get in, and then you can have certain people who want to take part in the contest and make that admission fee higher.
Yes.
If they wanted to bring a big pot of chili and be one of the cook-off specialists for
Mhm.
chili,
Mhm. Great.
and charge them $50 as an entry, fee to submit their chili, whatever you decide.
Yeah.
But these are all little ideas. And then you can have a little table and sell some little trinket kind of things,
Sure.
right? You saw some things this weekend, you said that people were selling, whether it be a bookmark or dollar store things, and sell them for $3 a piece. Okay, so there you're raising money and you're, finding ways to make a couple dollars at your event.
That's right. And then there's a board game tournament. How's that one? A fun game night. People like board games. We do.
Mhm.
And that's another way. It's a memorial fundraiser. And that's another way of having fun together. And then you can it's quality time. It's raising money for your cause. And it's also having the opportunity to be together and have fun together and remember that person. So
Right,
interesting.
that's a
And
great
it
idea.
shows how creative you can be and really look, the person, what they loved. And there's so many ways of remembering them and celebrating them, and of course
How
having.
about, and how about just raising, we're talking about raising money for the family. Okay, what about if a number of people in the community on the block got together and had a yard sale?
Sure.
And all the proceeds will go towards the family. Wouldn't that be kind of neat?
Wonderful.
We all have a basement full of junk.
That's right. That's right.
One person's junk is
Yeah,
another
that's simple.
person's treasure.
Yeah, and that's simple too. Very simple. It's just really the marketing of it and making sure you promote it.
Right. Right. And even if it's a table full of things, you don't have to empty your whole house and make a 3-day thing out of it. You could just certain things, and whatever you raise all goes into a pot to help that family.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
And they always talk about, follow-up and stuff. So you sort of create a toolkit so that the supporters know, what the steps are and what they're going to do. Like I got all kinds of notes during, the week and all about what was going to happen on Sunday, and give examples maybe of how to help or what to do, and then make
Yeah,
your thank yous. You really want to thank all your contributors and all the people who participated. That's very, very important.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I didn't even think of that at the beginning, but thanks for adding that. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So look around online. Look around online. There are many organizations who want to help you raise money. And get creative. Get creative. I don't know did you think of any more to bring to the table today, Lisa?
No, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That really,
Yeah, I think we covered quite a bit. Uh, you know, knitting, crocheting clubs if you have women in the neighborhood and you make
oh,
small blankets, baby
wonderful.
blankets, or any kind of crafty thing if you belong, especially this is good to some kind of uh group, a crafting group or even a book club. Have a book sale,
Mhm.
right? Have a dollar book sale and everybody contributes a box of books. We all have a box of books laying around the house, right?
Sure, sure.
So there are lots of ways, and there's nothing more heartfelt and special than to walk into somebody's house who's recently lost a loved one and present them with a check and say, this is just for you and your family or the kids, or, do something with this money. This is from your neighborhood or your friends and family.
Yes, yes, it's
It's
beautiful.
a wonderful thing. And we need to do that. We need to be human and help each other, right? We're seeing all this devastation around the United States and down in Florida, our home. We know there are hurricanes, but we don't expect them that bad. And you see people coming out from all corners of everywhere to just try and help out and assist those who need it most. So
Yeah,
that's what this is all about today.
wonderful. Yeah,
And we hope we've given you some outside of the box
yeah,
things to think about when honoring somebody, when donating for a good cause, coming together as a community with friends and family, and just doing whatever you can to help, no matter how big or small you think it may be. Everything helps,
yeah.
right?
And I'm into the remembrance. I think there's so many ways to celebrate somebody's life. And that really helps with the whole mourning, grieving process and really just remembering them in so many beautiful ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We
So,
talk a lot about that, right, Lisa? The memorials and celebrations, life celebrations that you can have after and before
right.
your loved one passes. It's great to have them there as part of their life celebration. That's what I always think, right?
Too. Me too. Yeah. Yeah. And we should mention that we do organize and help with this. We will help somebody figure something out, give them some options, do some organizing. We don't do the event, but we do everything that comes up with the ideas and all. So we're both pretty good at that. So it is something.
Yeah, the consulting end of it, which we love to do.
Absolutely.
And Lisa, in your spare time, what are some of the things that you do? You have an event coming up?
I do. On October 25th through Pine Lawn and Cope, I'll be doing a virtual workshop called Rethinking the Holidays. And I know that some people dread the holidays, especially after loss. And I'm going to help them rethink them and create something new that will be inspiring and helpful to them to be able to move on. So I'll be doing that.
Wonderful.
I'm also doing a widowers group, and they can contact me about that because I don't know if you would be a member of the group. I'm not sure about that, but that's on November 14th, whatever day of the week that is, and that's in the evening. So, and it's free, but again, I don't know if you need to have a membership for it. And I love doing those things because I feel like I'm reaching out to more people. Obviously, I have my two books, Pancreatic Cancer, It's a Family Affair, Pancreatic Cancer Families Move On. And both of those books, of course, as I said before, go 100% to the Les Garten Foundation for money for research. So
Excellent. And you can read more about my services on eastenddoulacare.com or susancapurso.com. I'm doing a lot of the legacy books right now, so I help people, seniors, not only with a terminal diagnosis, healthy people as well, to record their stories and leave their memories and experiences for future generations to come. So you can learn more about that on the website.
and I want to mention the healing bowl because that's such a beautiful
The
gesture.
Healing Garden is a gift that I do have on my website right now. It's a bowl full of Long Island stones with beautiful phrases on them to help sit with one rock 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and reflect and meditate on its message to help bring a little bit more peace and ease into your life, especially after a challenging time, like the loss of a loved one, with grief. So you could take a look at all the bowls on there.
Yeah, and I do want to
So
mention
yeah,
that
go ahead.
that I did give one to a caregiver because caregiving is a really difficult, challenging job, and the stones are very therapeutic. That that she can at least spend a little time trying to. It's such a difficult task. I know.
Yeah. So what Lisa means is one of the bowls is themed for caregivers, not only for grief. There's 5 different themes. And again, you can find them on the website. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. This was really nice. If it was helpful in any way, please like and share and follow our page and let a friend know. We've come up with almost 70, 80 different videos that we've done here so far. We're growing organically. And we'd love for you to spread the word and help somebody who may need it most.
We're always
And
to new topics as well, because some people say, well, if I only knew this, or what about this? And we're always open to new topics that mean something to people. So,
reach out anytime. And
absolutely.
Lisa, I will see you next Monday.
And Susan, take care. Good seeing you.
Have a great fall week.
You too. Take
Stay
care.
warm.
You too. Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.